Today on Photowalks, we are going to explore Los Angeles, California, from the beach to Beverly Hills 90210, Hollywood, and then some. Jefferson Graham, I'm a lifelong photographer and journalist. Here on Photowalks, we take you to the world's most photographable places. I'm going to show you around and offer some tips on how to get pro-level photos on your phone. So, we got this thing all charged up. Let's get going. So our first stop, the energetic street scene that is Venice Beach. This is a street photographer's paradise. You're going to want to pick up street photography, people photography, performers, beach stuff, local icons, you name it.
Let's begin as always by cleaning our lens, having a full battery and enough storage for the shoot, right? Because we won't get very far with a dead battery. Okay, now let's have some fun. We're going to walk up and down Oceanfront Boulevard, check out some of the side streets, and document the uniqueness of Venice Beach. Your photo walk route here is pretty simple. Windward Avenue is where the action is. You're going to walk down Oceanfront Walk one way and Oceanfront Walk the other way. There's lots of street art to see. You don't have to worry about a left or right because it's all here.
Well, Venice Beach is unique because you can kind of do what you want to do down here, be an artist, set up for free on the west side of the boardwalk, and dress crazy if you want to dress crazy. Nobody cares. And it's just a good location, you know. You got a view of the ocean. Everybody from the whole world comes down here, so you don't even have to go anywhere.
For overhead shots, some of the drone enthusiast sites say that it's legal to fly a drone right here in Venice Beach, even though it's 4 miles from LAX. And the rule is that you can fly only if you're more than 5 miles from an airport. However, check this out. The best spot for an overhead shot of Venice Beach is the Hotel Irwin. It's right off Oceanfront Walk. It has a great 7-story rooftop bar and restaurant. And while up there, you will no doubt see the beach, the pier, and some of those creative murals down on the ground that perhaps flew right by you.
Santa Monica is just up the road. It's 2.7 miles away. You can either take a cab, take a Lyft, take an Uber, or you can take a drive, which we're going to do. Are you ready, everyone? Let's get going. All right, so your Santa Monica shots has got to begin with the entrance to the iconic Santa Monica Pier. It doesn't get any more iconic than that. Then come down to the pier, Pacific Park for games, people photography, beach scenes, the last stop of Route 66, and don't miss out on the merry-go-round, which of course was seen in the film, The Sting. So this is the Rodeo Drive shopping district in Beverly Hills. It's a lot of fun to walk around. It may not be your top spot for photos unless you like really expensive stuff in these stores. Maybe a selfie or two. When I think Beverly Hills, I think fancy cars. I think those old iconic hotels and of course those giant palm trees.
Beverly Hills is known as the City of Stars, which it once was back in the golden era of Hollywood. But you're more likely to now see a famous movie location, as in a hotel, than you are to see a movie star walking down the street.
now we're on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. It's dirty, it's seedy, it's really crowded, but you're going to come anyway. And when you do, you're going to take pictures of the stars on the ground, the famous Chinese theater, maybe get some people and performer shots, and you might want to get the shot of the Hollywood sign, but you actually don't.
Remember that when you pose with a costume character on Hollywood Boulevard, they expect to be tipped.
What's the average?
There's really no average. It's just whatever they want to give.
Seems to me $5 would be a good one.
Well, I'll take that if you want to give it to me.
That Hollywood sign is very elusive, and it sure ain't on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
This is the official viewing spot of the Hollywood sign per the Hollywood Chamber of Commerce. But as you can tell, you can barely see the sign. And in a selfie, you really can't see the sign. But I'd like to show you where you can see the sign.
This sign started out as a billboard, and it's become a monument over the years. It's a true Hollywood story.
Unlike landmarks like the Eiffel Tower, the Statue of Liberty, and the Golden Gate Bridge in Los Angeles, tourists cannot come right up to the Hollywood sign easily. You can't drive up the hill and get out of your rental car to see it, as there are all those no parking signs pretty much everywhere in residential neighborhoods. Instead, plan on a lengthy hike to get up there. This is one of the best hikes to get to the top of Mount Lee, to get right behind the Hollywood sign. I like this Brush Canyon Trail right off Bronson Street because it has parking, facilities, and thus is easy to get to.
And what's great about the Brush Canyon Trail, which is my favorite hike, it's our medium hike on the sign, is that it tees on this road. And if you go up the road, you get up and above the sign. If you go down the road, you get to the best front viewpoint of the sign. And that gives you the perfect place to take a shot of the sign just sitting over your shoulder. You can pretend like you're holding it, you can pretend like you're kissing it. You can do all of those fun perspective shots. So the sign was originally built in 1923, so it's 2023 now, and so it's the 100th anniversary of the sign. And we don't actually know the official date that the sign was erected. It started out as a billboard. People don't often write about it being a billboard. And so we're using the December 8th birthday, which is when we know that it was lit. That's when it was written about in the paper. And so that's kind of the moment we know that it was built in 1923.
If you don't feel like hiking, you can view the sign from a Griffith Observatory viewpoint.
The Griffith Observatory, which of course was immortalized in the films Rebel Without a Cause and La La Land.
The city tells me that the observatory is the most visited tourist spot in Los Angeles, drawing even more people than the Hollywood Walk of Fame or Venice Beach, but do know that parking is really scarce. You'll probably have to hike up a hill to get up here, or take public transportation, which will drop you right off. The shots you'll want up here are the city lights, which are best at night from any direction, shot on the decks of the observatory, some interiors, and the iconic building itself. You could do it right here in front with lots of people in the way, but you won't get the city lights glistening in the background. Many of the postcard images of Griffith Observatory will show you shots like this, but for those you need two things: a camera with a long zoom lens and the desire to hike up a big hill to look down at the observatory. That zoom will bring the buildings way closer to you. How to get there? Well, there's two ways to get about it. One, you could walk up this really high hill and hope to be high enough to bypass the shrubbery that gets in the way of your image, or you could walk around the bend to get a side view. That's how I got my best shot of the observatory.
And you can forget about bringing your drone. Drone use in Griffith Park is illegal.
For smartphone shots, just stand directly in front of the building to capture it and visit some of the decks for your night shots. This is a fabulous setting for a time-lapse. Don't forget your tripod. Beyond the lush grounds and scenery, inside the observatory are opportunities to explore space through telescopes and the 290-seat planetarium. My favorite photo op is marveling at those wonderful murals painted in 1934 by Hugo Ballin of celestial mythology. Zoom in if you have a camera for a closer look. And let's all say thanks to Griffith J. Griffith, the 19th century Los Angeles real estate tycoon who granted all that land to the city and people of LA to enjoy exploring. When we come back, we are going to visit the dynamic downtown Los Angeles as we check out Walt Disney Concert Hall, the historic Union Station, Broad Museum, and more. Plus, I've got several great photo tips for you on how I got some of these shots in the show with my phone, so stay tuned. And now a quick word from our sponsor, and that would be me. I want to tell you all about my iPhone photography course. As you know, I shoot every episode of Photowalks on mobile phones, mostly the iPhone. People say to me all the time, how can I get pro-level photos like you, Jeff? Well, I give all my tips and tricks and secrets in the course, all the hidden settings that will take you from snapshots to pro-level photos. It's available at jeffersongraham.com/courses. After our one-day visit to Venice Beach, Santa Monica, Beverly Hills, and Hollywood, well, we decided to explore more of Los Angeles on our photo walk on a second day, this time in downtown. I am sitting in what's arguably the top photo selfie spot in downtown, Vista Hermosa Park. How about that view? In downtown LA, you'll start here at the park and continue to the museums, historic buildings, and rich food that distinguishes downtown, namely French dip, omelets, and authentic Mexican fare. Our stops today: we will drive to Vista Hermosa Park for that killer shot of the downtown skyline, and then head back in the car and over to Disney Hall. From here, we've designed an easy 2-mile photo walk from Disney Hall to Union Station. Now, if you don't feel like walking back, hop an Uber or a bus. Remember, by getting out of the car and using your camera eye, you will see so much more. Let's continue on to the Frank Gehry masterpiece that is the hard-to-photograph Disney Hall. People love this building. It's so unique. It's only in LA, but it's very hard to capture because there's so many distractions, whether it be light poles, moving cars, the steps behind me. My best advice is actually to go to the side, stand right in front, and get really wide. Beyond the exterior, have fun with the shapes that Frank Gehry created. Get in tight, go wide, and show the world how you interpret Disney Hall. Now, in the hall itself, they have a strict no photography rule during the show. But if you're lucky, you just might be able to pull off some shots like I did by getting a seat behind the orchestra. Nighttime shots can be pretty magical. A great time to photograph Disney Hall would be just after sunset when the downtown building lights go on. From Disney Hall, you'll probably want to check out the 2 nearby museums and capture the essence of the buildings. The Broad is the more challenging of the 2 since it's an entire city block and it's impossible to fit within your camera lens. Again, go as wide as you can. I like going to the crosswalk at the entrance to the Broad, and at least you get to see the enormity of the building. Another tip is to actually go inside and capture people looking at art and enjoying themselves, or just the expanse of the place. What makes this museum unique? Show it with your creativity. MoCA, the Museum of Contemporary Art, is across the street, and it's an easier challenge. The big sculpture outside just screams art. Pick up a shot of someone looking at the sculpture, and you're golden. Now let's go to Broadway and check out the old movie theaters, the Bradbury Building, the Grand Central Market, and then we'll have a flight up a funicular. For the movie theaters, just look at the workmanship you don't see anymore. Now, a daytime shot of an old movie theater isn't worth much, so find something to zoom in on. How about the Bradbury Building? It's over 100 years old. You may have seen the building in the original Blade Runner movie. As a tourist, you won't get any further than the first deck, and all you're left with is probably a wide shot of the building. It won't win you any awards. But it's right across the street from the theaters and the Grand Central Market, so you gotta go take a look. The Grand Central Market is also over 100 years old. It's a melting pot of Los Angeles with every type of food you could imagine. It's really more of an eating establishment than a market, although you could certainly buy fruit. Photo-wise, lighting is dark in here. I would just memorialize it with shots of tacos, pizza, cheese, or whatever strikes your fancy. Finish at the market by parting with $1 and going back up the hill to your car on the Angeles Flight Railway. You probably remember it from La La Land. Get a photo of the train itself, and then once inside, switch to video mode for a great moving picture of the ride up. Now let's walk down the street and check out two great LA buildings, the Central Library and City Hall. If you watched TV in the 1950s, well, you know that City Hall is the place where Clark Kent changed into a Superman outfit while at the Daily Planet. Where's the best place to photograph City Hall? Well, you could try actually right in front in the courtyard with a wide angle and fit it into your camera frame. It's going to be a little unusual. Or we could walk across the street and get a more level shot of the building. Now let's go from one historic building to my favorite in Los Angeles, Union Station. Union Station is the largest railroad passenger terminal in the West, built in the 1930s and a great example of Art Deco blended with Spanish colonial and mission revival. The Union Station exterior is best at night when it's draped in purple, but for interiors, go for day when there's so much more light to work with. Take a look at this wedding portrait I did for a young couple here, where we took advantage of the dramatic lighting, the huge walls, and the overall setting that just screamed classic. Wow, so that's just a portion of the second largest city in the United States. While we did see many of her highlights, well, we did miss LACMA, the Getty, some of the cool neighborhoods like Silver Lake, more of the beach cities like Malibu, Manhattan, and Hermosa. So we'll just have to come back for a return trip. Meanwhile, after the break, it's photo tip time. I'll show you how I got some of my best LA shots and some key tips for how you can get great pro-level photos on your phone. And now a quick word from our sponsor, and that would be me. I want to tell you all about my iPhone photography course. As you know, I shoot every episode of Photowalks on mobile phones, mostly the iPhone. People say to me all the time, how can I get pro-level photos like you, Jeff? Well, I give all my tips and tricks and secrets in the course, all the hidden settings that will take you from snapshots to pro-level photos. It's available at jeffersongraham.com/courses. It's time for our photo tips segment. Let's begin with some of those photos we did in Beverly Hills and how to deal with distractions that can ruin your photos. One obstacle you're going to find when trying to photograph an iconic Beverly Hills location is trees and other things that will get in the way. So if you see my shot of the Beverly Hills Hotel, there's a palm tree in the way. Well, it could have been worse. I kept moving and moving and moving until I got it right. See? Get a selfie of yourself in front of the Beverly Hills Hotel marquee. You got one right in front, no obstacles. This one's got the palm tree. Just keep on moving and get the camera low to get yourself with the words back there without the palm tree in the shot. Now let's talk palm trees and how to photograph them. North Beverly Drive in between Santa Monica and Sunset is the best place to see a really wide street and giant palm trees. How to capture them on camera? Well, get low, get really low, get as low as you can get, and also be as wide as you can get as well. The wider, the better. Obviously, when I say wide, I mean to use the 0.5 ultra wide angle on your phone. It's the first choice on most phones at the far left of the camera choices. I also love slow-mo at the skate park for seeing these amazing skaters soar through the air. If you're not into video, try shooting them on burst mode for stills. That stops the action and allows you to take hundreds of photos at once. To do burst, just swipe the shutter on an iPhone to the left. On a Galaxy, swipe the shutter button down. The flip side of burst mode is time-lapse, watching the world fly by at top speed. You'll need a tripod and a smartphone mount for your camera. Then open up the app, compose the image, and start recording. You'll need to let it roll for at least 15 to 20 minutes to get a good shot that will be 10 to 20 seconds worth of footage. You'll need a tripod to keep the image steady. Now, I did 2 time-lapse in Venice, one of the masses patrolling Oceanfront Boulevard, and a sunset shot of the clouds set behind the big V for Venice structure.
You could also do what's called a hyperlapse, a walking time lapse. You have to be very steady. Watch the way I walk, because we're going to get it right now here in Venice. Just in time.
Also, make sure to keep your horizon in check and stay on point while you're recording.
One more of my favorite photo tips to give you photos that are sharper and not fuzzy. Optical zoom. What's optical zoom? Those are the numbers of the lenses that are on your camera. Those are the sharpest. When you pinch and zoom sometimes, what you're getting is a bad crop that gets blown up several times. So please do that. And secondly, if you really want to get closer, don't stand so far away. Use your feet. Zoom in with your feet and come right in. And that's a wrap for our photo walk from Los Angeles. Be sure to come back next week. We'll have another great travel episode for you. Meanwhile, for more information about some of the places we covered in today's show, be sure to check out our website. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you on the next photo walk, everyone. Bye-bye. Thanks for joining me on this photo walk. What was your favorite scene from the show? What was your favorite photo tip? Which photo tip might you have a question about? I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Meanwhile, do me a favor, stay tuned for more of our episodes right here and right here. We have shows from all over the country, all over the world. I'm Jefferson Graham, and I'll see you on the next photo walk. Bye-bye.